Hi, this is Tom Burden here for West Marine, and today I'm talking with Hanne Weaver. Hanne is an aspiring Olympian, and she's one of the breakout young stars in the laser class here in this country. She started out in 2012 by winning a major U.S. sailing single-handed national championship. So she's one of our top rising stars in the class. So Hanne, we're here to talk to you a little bit about laser sailing and maybe learn some things from you about preparation, training, and the other kinds of things you need to know to be a successful Olympian and to be a successful international competitor. Have you always had the kind of competitive passion for sailing that you do now?
Well, when I started sailing when I was 8, I didn't really think about training for the Olympics. I was just doing it for fun. But as I got better and started winning my local regattas in my little pond that I call, a lot of the other coaches told me I should start looking at other regattas to do, and that's where I started going more nationally, and that's where I wanted to train for the Olympics.
And when did you start sailing lasers?
I started racing lasers when I was around 14 years old. After I did Opties, I went to do 29ers. And my crew and I were too small for the 29er, and so I decided to do the laser while we became bigger. And then I just fell in love with the laser, and that's where I went from there.
You've trained against some of the top people in the world, like Paige Rayleigh and Anna Tunnicliffe. Mm-hmm. What's it like to sail against those kind of people and to train with those kind of the top sailors?
It's an honor to be able to race and train with those Olympic athletes. I got coached by Anna Tunnicliffe and I went down to Mexico for a clinic, and to hear her knowledge about how to become an Olympian is outstanding. She knew a lot about the physical part of it and the mental state. Training with Paige was really good. I learned a lot and become really good friends with her, and I know her from the inside out, and what she does on her downtime is pretty much what all athletes do, is relax and get back to the normal state.
You've been sailing since you were 8, and now you're training to go to the Olympics in 2020, right?
Correct. I normally try and go to the gym 6 days a week, and one day to just relax and let my body recuperate. It's also getting a lot of good coaches, and to get a lot of good coaches takes a lot of time and money, but it's just time on the water, being fit in the gym.
Time on the water, fitness, those are all really important to be successful in the laser. So Hanne, why don't you describe for us a typical training day?
So a typical day in the gym would be I get there and I normally do a cardio in the morning, which is either run or bike or something for about 15-20 minutes, and then I either go downstairs to do my legs or my arms, depending on the day. I switch it up every now and then, so I'm not just working one muscle group. I do squats, deadlifts, lunges, step-ups, lots of those kind of machines, just working all the legs. I do abs afterwards too, just to make sure that I'm working my core, just that typical kind of stuff. And then I do a little stretching afterwards to make sure my muscles aren't too bad. And then I go home. It's about an hour and a half each day at the gym, just to make sure I get all the muscles and make sure they get strong. And then I go sailing. And for sailing, I normally, depending on the wind, if it's lighter wind, I normally rig my boat and then I get changed. If it's windier, I change and then I rig. But normally when I rig, I put my mast together, put my sail on. I do my Cunningham bang, then my outhaul, main sheet, make sure my rudder and centerboard are in the boat, and I launch and I go out. If I'm by myself, I normally time myself on each tack I do. I normally try and get my roll tacks in, and if I feel like they feel good, then I keep going with them. If I feel like one tack is not as good as the other, then I just keep focusing on that one tack until it becomes where I feel it's a good tack. And then I go upwind and I do long beats sometimes, upwind for maybe 10-15 minutes, and then I do a tack, and then 10-15 minutes until I get to a point where I just say, oh, let's go downwind now. And then when I go downwind, it also depends on the wind and the waves. I do my S-turning, and I practice on that, and then I do my jibes too. And I make sure I get my jibes down as well. And if I feel like they're not good, then I keep jibing until they are. And then I round, there's some marks out there, just like a windward mark, one of those wind reader marks, and I round those, and I go up wind, and I just keep doing it over and over again. It's this repetition, it's the basic stuff. And then I go in. I try and do 3 to 4 hours of a practice day.
So you'll do maybe an hour and a half of training while you're in the gym, maybe 3 or 4 hours of training when you're actually out on the water.
Yeah.
And combining that with your other parts of your life, like for example, you work at West Marine.
I do.
How do you manage to fit all this stuff in?
I have a calendar, and it's detailed. I check specific days where I go out, where I work to. I work right there where I sail at Social Bay Marina. And so I always check the wind when I'm working to say, oh, it looks really light, maybe today don't go out, or it looks like a good day to go out. And I get off and I just head right on down and I rig my boat and I go out. Sometimes I get off late, so I only get to go out for a couple hours, but that's a couple more hours on the water that I get. So it's really just using the time that you have to your advantage.
So let's talk a little bit about nutrition and the way that you eat to stay in shape and to control your weight and to basically make yourself be fit. What kinds of things do you think about, and what sort of a diet do you observe when you're training?
When I'm training, I try and eat healthy as possible, lots of fruits and vegetables. I'm not very big on breakfast, but when I do have my training days, I do try and eat a lot of food in the morning just to keep my calories up. With sailing, when you go out and racing for a whole day, you burn a lot of calories, so you eat a lot more than you normally do than a typical meal. You eat like a big portion, and even if after you're full, you still try and eat it.
Sailing takes a lot of mental preparation as well. What kind of mental preparation do you do to get ready for a big regatta?
I have a routine that I do every morning. I always get up, I try and wake myself up, and I get water and juice. My favorite juice is actually apple juice. I have it every morning. And then I have my iPod that I take to the boat park, and I listen to that. And I have specific songs that I like to listen to get me motivated, depending on the wind condition. And then I kind of just get in the zone of rigging, and I always rig the same way. And I just keep things simple and easy, and it's kind of body memory. I don't try and make things difficult.
You've had to make a lot of sacrifices to be able to sail at this level. Have you decided to give up going to college or put that aside for a while? Or?
Well, what I'm doing right now, I'm in community college. I'm taking this fall quarter off just to focus on my training and sailing and get back into that. But yeah, I've put sailing ahead of everything, and college aside for right now, till I get where I want to be and what exactly I want to do. But I can always go back to college. It's not like something I just put out forever.
And working at West Marine, how do the other folks in the store, do you get a lot of support from your associates that you work with as far as the goals that you're setting and the sailing that you do?
Yeah, my manager there, Noah, he really helps me with my schedule and letting me have 2-3 weeks off a month to be able to go and do my regattas, and I still come back and I have a job. So
that is really great.
Yeah, it's amazing to be able to do that.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons that we work at West Marine, is because they appreciate the fact that we're boaters and that we're passionate about what we do. So you've been working really hard to train for the Olympics, probably in 5 years from now. What are the kinds of things that you're going to be doing between now and then, and maybe you can talk a little bit about some of your goals for after the Olympics, assuming that you're successful?
So beforehand, I'm going to train as hard as I can, like with different coaches to get different perspectives on my sailing. Most of it's going to be probably in the gym, get more fit. But training-wise is just being time out on the water and going to these different regattas over and doing the World Cup events and just getting the experience that I need to be able to compete in the Olympic level. For my goals for before and after the Olympics, going to be before the Olympics, I'm going to try and be able to, my first goal is just to get to the World Cup events. There's a process to get there and financially be able to get there as well. But that is just going to be my first little stepping stone. After that, it's going to be actually being able to get into the top, the gold fleet, the World Cup events. Those are really hard to get into. Once you be able to get into those, then you're one of the good sailors. Another goal after that would be making the top half of the gold fleet. So it's these little goals to get there, and the big goal would be going to the 2020 Olympics. And there's little goals below it that I'm trying to get to first. and be able to get to those goals, you have to meet the goal below it. And so it's little stepping stones to get there. I mean, maybe one of the goals would be going out sailing this afternoon is one of my goals, and being able to have wind. So the little goals are the goals to get you to your big goal.
Have you given any thought to maybe becoming a professional sailor after you're in the Olympics?
It's given me some thought, but I really just like sticking with my little laser for now. Maybe I'll think about doing it after I do the Olympics and see where it takes me. I'm not really keen on doing big boats just yet. I like the little dinghy and be able to be in control of everything, but might give it a try every now and then to do the other type of boats.
Yeah, in the most recent Volvo Ocean race, there was an all-women's team called Team SCA, and often for big boat sailing, the people who get asked to drive are the laser sailors, the ones who know how to sail a boat in any kind of conditions. Have you ever given any thought to that sort of sailing, maybe sometime down the road?
Maybe. I mean, if the opportunity comes up, I might as well just give it a try. It gives me another point of view on sailing. I never turn down opportunities like those, so.
Sailing is such a wonderful sport because there's so many different kinds of classes and so many different kinds of sailing that you can do. Anyway, it's been great talking with you, Hanne,
Yeah.
and I've really enjoyed chatting with you about this. I've certainly learned a lot. I'm going to take some of the things that we've talked about, try to put them into practice. This is Tom Burden for West Marine and Hanne Weaver, and we have over 80,000 products online, and we've got lots of great associates like Hanne who know a lot about sailing and about racing, who can help answer your questions. You can order from us 24/7 online from westmarine.com.